Moving on from that, there's also another very, very massive fixture in the Premier League this weekend, and that's happening on Sunday in Anfield. Liverpool take on Manchester United in Anfield, and that is 6th position. You're rubbing your hands.
We're ready to chef up some expensive Mancunian kebab.
Right,
Let's go.
Right. Manchester United, of course, by all accounts, by all evidence, look very likely to cook at Anfield. But of course, it is the Premier League, and this is one of those big fixtures where form might go out of the window. Liverpool, 39 points. Manchester United with a massive, whopping 10 points gap. Both teams have played 24 games so far this season. It's happening on Sunday. Manchester United are definitely the team to beat.
Yeah, it's an interesting game going against this Manchester United super team. 200 billion on the pitch. Arguably the inform manager in world football.
What's that? You said 200 billion.
Your team is worth like 200 billion pounds or whatever.
A very good place to start. Today's episode will be the top of the English Premier League, where Arsenal are sitting pretty. On Wednesday, they defeated Everton 4-0. I mean, everybody expected that Everton would at least put, some pressure on them. Sort of. It looked like they were putting pressure on them up until like the 25th minute when Arsenal started to find their rhythm. But Arsenal ran out, comfortable 4-0 winners. And the fear was that, Everton could repeat what they did in Goodison in the first leg, right? This Everton side actually defeated Arsenal, I beg your pardon, at Goodison. But this time around, Arsenal had too much for them.
Yeah, very big game for Arsenal against a side that they drop points against. Sean Dyche. Everything can be tricky opponents, but yeah, Arsenal really did show their class. I'm very happy for Gabriel Martinelli. I feel like we mentioned him in the last episode, that we mentioned players like him in particular are going to need to come to the fold for the title race, and he's found his form that he started the season with, got 2 goals. I believe he even got an assist. Like, they're flying.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Arteta has found something interesting there for Arsenal, having to use both Trossard and Martinelli. When he signed Trossard, we expected, or we thought that Trossard would be a direct replacement for Martinelli any day Trossard got to play. But it looks like he's found a way to play both of them and still play Odegaard as well in that midfield.
Okay, it feels like in Nketiah, he started showing that these might not be his levels. He performed greatly when he just wasn't around, but there were chances that he might have missed that made Arteta think, maybe I need to freshen it up, bring him back in when he's on form again. And very big game for Arsenal. Saka scored yet again, and it was a great goal. On his weaker right foot to take that touch and then hit it like that was delightful.
Yeah, definitely. So Saka scored 1 to add to his tally for the season. Martinelli scored 2. And of course, Odegaard. I would say these are the usual suspects.
Fun facts for you: only one team has 2 players with over 10 Premier League goals in the moment, and it's Arsenal with Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka with 11 and 10 goals. Yeah, so and to Saka's 10 goals, he's also picked up 9 assists. Only Kevin De Bruyne has more. This boy is flying, bro. You can make a case he's the best right winger in world football at the moment, because I thought about it and there's really a shortage in right wingers in football. Right now, all the people doing the business are all these Kvaratskhelia, Rashford, Vinicius Junior, right wingers. There's really a bit of a drought there at the moment.
Yeah, definitely looks good for Arsenal at the top of the table. Their lead over Manchester City and the rest of the pack still stands at 5, especially over Manchester City. And of course, they go into this weekend, just feeling a bit more comfortable. But talking about teams that are beginning to get comfortable now, we have Liverpool, who played against Wolves on Wednesday. That one ended 2-0 in favor of Liverpool, and it looks like with Van Dijk back, Liverpool are back.
Yeah, with Van Dijk back, it looks like Liverpool could be back. I believe that's 4 clean sheets in a row in the Premier League. We haven't lost in 4 games. In that span, that's one of the best records. To say if we're back, I mean, I don't know, there have been a few false dawns for us this season, so I don't know if I'm fully convinced. But yeah, that was a very good result. Good to keep another clean sheet, and definitely top 4 is looking more possible.
Yeah, definitely. But of course, Liverpool do travel to... they do not travel actually. They will be facing Manchester United, but that will be discussed later in the episode. But of course, keeping with the timestamp method, of picking out the topics today, FA Cup also happened on that Wednesday night. That one saw Manchester United go through to the quarterfinals, defeating West Ham at Old Trafford. That was an interesting one because Manchester United had just come off the back of winning the Carabao Cup. They were expected to celebrate, go hard celebrating the Carabao Cup, their first, title in 5 or 6 years, and maybe not have enough in the tank to knock West Ham out. But it started off looking like that was going to happen, right? West Ham scored first, and Manchester United ended up doing the business.
Yeah, it feels like when the changes were made right now. So obviously with the fixture congestion, he didn't start as strong as Exa as he normally would start. But when he reverted back to his trusted men, he got results as we've come to expect.
Of course. And one player to actually look out for is Alejandro Garnacho. Garnacho has been a revelation this season. And I remember somebody saying earlier in the season that where do Manchester United keep finding these crackhead youngsters? and yeah, Garnacho it seems to be one of those players at the moment. He scored the second goal when everything seemed a bit tight. The first goal was actually an own goal by a West Ham defender, and Garnacho came on and scored the second. No, he played 90 minutes actually. He scored the second goal, and it was comfortable for Manchester United moving on.
Yeah, very good goal for him. Promising player. Let's see how it turns out for him.
Let's see how it turns out. Definitely. Still on the week's recap, Copa del Rey happened yesterday. The of course semi-final first leg games happened yesterday. It was an El Clasico game. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. That one ended 1-0 in favor of Barcelona. One of 3 Copa del Rey matches that we would see this month.
3 Clasico matches.
One of 3 Clasico matches.
Yep. It's a Clasico trilogy this month.
Is the El Clasico washed?
No, I think over the last few years it might have been washed, but I think it's definitely coming back to his glory days. They're the 2 best teams in Spain again. Atletico aren't really crashing the party as much as they did in recent years. And so whilst this game wasn't that interesting on paper, the goal that separated the tie was an own goal, but it was a very feisty, highly competitive match, and it's clear that they're both each other's rivals again. They both have teams that they're competing for similar trophies. Like this is the Copa del Rey quarter-final, you said, so they fight for a place in the semi-final. They're going toe-to-toe for La Liga. So La Liga isn't done either. El Clasico, I think it's on its way back, to be honest.
Okay, that will be the question of the day. Do you think El Clasico is washed? I mean, it is one of the biggest derbies in world sports generally, and
it's past his glory days. That's for damn sure.
Right,
it can never live up to those days. Pep Guardiola was a Mourinho, Messi,
Messi,
Piqué, Ramos, Xavi. Come on, football peak during that era, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. So that was the first leg. Madrid went down 1-0.
Madrid, it's like they don't care unless it's the Champions League. If it was Champions League, they would have found the 2 goals to win that game. And maybe they still will in the second leg, but let's see how that
But of course, not forget, the second leg will happen at the Camp Nou, right? Barcelona will be at home in that one. The second leg comes up later in the season. Moving on from all of those fixtures, we have some massive games to look forward to, especially starting today. In Serie A, Napoli take on Lazio, 1st versus 4th, and this is interesting because in the Serie A table, on the Serie A table, between 2nd and 5th, it's a very tight race, right? They're battling for who will make it into the Champions League places. Lazio now have their work cut out for them, facing arguably one of the best sides in Europe so far this season.
If you want to play Champions League, you have to beat the best teams, man.
You have to beat the best teams.
You're gonna have to try and get some points.
Napoli will be at home. Lazio currently sit 4th with 45 points. Inter Milan and AC Milan sit 2nd and 3rd respectively on 47 points. They've all played 24 games. What do you think this result will mean for Lazio?
We know what it will mean. It's a big set of 3 points, especially all 3 points are 3 points, but in the title race, it's a very big 3 points. Because these are 3 points that they probably won't have budgeted for coming into the season. These are 3 points that their rivals will be looking at them thinking, if they lose and we win. So a win here will be against what we've come to expect in Serie A. I'm not expecting them to win here. I think Napoli will get the job done as they've done countless times this season.
Yeah, definitely. It does look like it. Looking at the form of Napoli over the season, you do not expect Lazio to come to Naples and knock them off their perch. But yes, that's one big one to look out for today. Later today, Napoli versus Lazio in Naples, 1st versus 4th in the Serie A standings. Moving on from that to Bundesliga, another very interesting one. Dortmund versus RB Leipzig. That's second versus fourth. These are also two teams fighting for the Champions League places.
Dortmund are fighting for the title.
Dortmund actually fighting for the title.
Yeah,
but of course, even Leipzig too, you could say, are fighting for the title too, because there's 46 points for Dortmund and 42 points for RB Leipzig.
So a win here could
swing things.
A win here puts them a point behind Dortmund. So yeah, the Serie A is on fire right now. I really like to see Dortmund. Bundesliga is on fire. I really like to see Dortmund do it again. It's been a long time since they did it, and Bayern's chokehold on the league is getting boring, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dortmund or Union Berlin are real dark horses. They're kind of in there. I reckon that loss to Bayern would have destabilized them, but I'm going for Dortmund, and yeah, this is a game that they must win, because if they allow Bayern get back into it, they're just going to coast, and people are going to forget this season. Yeah, Bellingham, nice, Adeyemi, but it's just going to be another season lost in history.
And of course, don't forget Karim Adeyemi currently suffering that
exactly, which is but Hala is back, and he scored his first competitive goal back not too long ago, so it could be okay.
Yeah. Definitely want to look out for. Let us know in the comment sections below, anywhere you're watching this, what you think about the fixture before the match kicks off, and you could stand the chance to win some wonderful, beautiful airtime courtesy of our producer in-house, Jerry. Of course, Dortmund versus RB Leipzig. Let us know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Moving on from that, big fixtures in the Premier League starting tomorrow. Manchester City versus Newcastle. That one is second versus fifth
big game
on the Premier League table. Newcastle have had a bad run of form recently, but you would think that this is one of those games that they might find their early season form.
Yeah, they got a result against City first time. I believe it was 2-2 at St. James's Park. City really need to win this game, and yeah, it's going to be a tough competition because Newcastle do have the best defense in the league. So it's like the best attacking side versus the best defensive side. Can Newcastle keep City out for 90 minutes? I personally don't think so, and I also hope they don't, seeing as Newcastle are a team in the top 4 race, and yeah, them taking a loss here.
You're hoping because Newcastle now will be like, I mean, Liverpool.
I literally just said that now. I'm hoping because they are trying to get in the top 4 and then being out. But hope aside, you would expect City to win this game. If they're going to catch us now, they cannot afford to lose any more games this season.
And yeah, this is definitely one of those games that you would see Manchester City come up. Of course, they're at Etihad.
Yeah, they're going to come out.
Beast at Etihad.
I expect early goals. Like, it's going to be City when they're in that mood. They're probably going to score quite early and just keep knocking at the door.
Let us know in the comment sections what you think about the Manchester City versus Newcastle game. Put your score predictions in the comments below. Of course, do not forget, there's airtime credit up for grabs for anybody who guesses the correct score before the match kicks off tomorrow. Manchester City versus Newcastle, I believe that one will be
the first person that gets the correct score, not
the first person, not anybody, not everybody, right? So the very first person to get the scores correctly for that Manchester City versus Newcastle game starting at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow will stand the chance to win, some beautiful, awesome airtime. I mean, it's
you didn't plan your weekend rookies now.
Or cash strapped out here in Nigeria at the moment. So of course,
fair not to speak.
Airtime will go a long way. Moving on from that, there's also another very, very massive fixture in the Premier League this weekend, and that's happening on Sunday in Anfield. Liverpool take on Manchester United in Anfield, and that is 6th position. You're rubbing your hands.
We're ready to chef up some expensive Mancunian kebab.
Right.
Let's go.
Right. Manchester United, of course, by all accounts, by all evidence, look very likely to cook at Anfield. But of course, it is the Premier League, and this is one of those big fixtures where form might go out of the window. Liverpool, 39 points. Manchester United with a massive, whopping 10 points gap. Both teams have played 24 games so far this season. It's happening on Sunday. Manchester United are definitely the team to beat.
Yeah, it's an interesting game going against this Manchester United super team. 200 billion on the pitch. Arguably the inform manager in world football.
What's that? You said 200 billion?
Your team is worth like 200 billion pounds or whatever. Yeah, very top team. Casemiro has really galvanized them. They're on form. But yeah, coming to Anfield is not going to be difficult. Like we saw in the Everton games and the games we played against City. If like when it matters, they rise to the occasion. So yeah, I'm backing Liverpool to keep their good run of form going on and get a win at Anfield.
Of course.
United haven't won at Anfield in I don't even know what, 8 years or what is it? It's been a while, so yeah, I think we'll hold our turf.
Yeah, definitely. This is the season where Manchester United have put doubters to the cleaners, and they've actually broken lots of records coming up to
records?
The past couple of
Which
games.
records?
Manchester United had not won a single trophy for 6 years.
Oh, so
and
that,
they did it.
fair. So your personal records.
So definitely you would expect Manchester United to continue that vein of form going to Anfield. Of course, this is a Manchester United side that do not look like they are complacent, right? Case in point, the West Ham game at Old Trafford. Everybody expected that, maybe fatigue and all those other things would come into play. But Ten Hag, in fact, there's a video of Steve McLaren speaking to Eric Ten Hag after the game saying, "You did this. Your winning mentality got us this win." So these are the kinds of things. And
wow,
of course,
the mighty Steve
media,
McLaren.
the media are, the media are just trying to drum up, conspiracies. Oh, are you guys dreaming about winning the quadruple? Are you dreaming about?
Why are they even
the
calling
Premier
it a quadruple? I don't like when they call these random trophies trebles or quadruples. I can't even win a quadruple or treble with the Europa League.
You can continue hitting while sitting sixth.
What's that
in
now?
The English Premier League? Of course,
You
let
see,
us know.
you have to be six now. It was a long season last season, and I actually saw a stat that actually quite blew my mind. And it's not really surprising to think about it. So last season, after Van Dijk's ACL injury, he played the most games in Europe of any player for his club. Then went into the World Cup and played all the way to the quarterfinal. And he said in an interview that, to be honest, his body had just broken down, and the most recent injury was a sign of that. And with the way he's playing, coming back from the injury, and the way he's able to vitalize his defense, you do start thinking maybe there is some truth in that. That the amount of games Liverpool played last season was just, it's not even just last season, over the last 4 years, and especially on that core group of players, just has not made sense. So this season, even being a calmer season out of the Champions League, let's just regroup for next season, I think could do Liverpool a lot.
Are you still in the FA Cup?
No, we're not in the FA Cup. So now it's just try and win the Premier League. Yeah, just try and, okay, we're still in the Champions League, but not for long. So try and qualify for the top four, playing one game a week to the end of the season. I think that puts us in a good position.
Yeah.
But our next run of fixtures is a crazy run of 5 fixtures. If we come out alive in these 5 fixtures, then we will make the top.
Who are you guys facing?
There's United somewhere in there. You're next.
United
I think City are somewhere in there. Might be Arsenal or Chelsea. So out of the 5 games, 3 are top games.
Definitely want to look out for in the next coming, in a couple of days coming for Liverpool. Currently sitting 6th, and they face, of course, like I said earlier, the team to beat in Manchester United, currently sitting 3rd.
The team to beat, that's Arsenal, bro.
The team to beat
as in
the race for
you
the
look
top
at me,
4.
hello.
The team to beat. What? You look at.
You're not in the race for top 4 again. You guys are
correct.
secure. You're in the race for the title now. The teams to beat in the race for top 4 are Newcastle,
the teams to beat.
Newcastle and Tottenham. Those are the teams that I'm looking at top 4 now. And like as seasons progress, your objectives have to change. Like City are my normal rivals. I'm not looking at City anymore because that's not what I'm looking at. So now the Newcastle.
So you're not looking at Manchester United.
Not really now. You guys should be looking at City, not us. Are you looking at us?
No, that's great. I mean, it's just great to know. From
I feel it's funny. You guys shouldn't be looking backwards. You should be looking forward now.
Of course, now I'm looking at you looking forward now.
Yeah.
Liverpool looking forward. I mean, I'm sitting here as an analyst, not just as a Manchester United fan. So Liverpool looking forward, you cannot be looking at Manchester United like Man Utd.
Not for this season. The same way we haven't been on it for like it's 8 years now. So they happen now. You guys built a $200 billion team, won a Carabao Cup, and don't want us to rest.
Liverpool versus Manchester United. Let us know in the comment sections what you think about that game. Of course, do not forget you can win airtime if you predict the score correctly, courtesy of Jerry, our in-house producer on that one. Of course, and still with the Premier League, there is the Manager of the Month conversation and the Player of the Month conversation for February. Both Eric Ten Hag and Rashford are in the running to win both titles again.
I haven't really been fully up to date on those races, but I feel like Rashford probably isn't far away from me. Neither is Ten Hag. Over the last month, I think I saw the best 3 teams were, I think Arsenal, United, and Liverpool had all picked up 10 points from their last 4 games. So it's definitely one of those managers. And I guess, since Ten Hag won a trophy, Carabao Cup, I don't know what effect that's going to have since it's not a Premier League trophy. But yeah, it's definitely will be in the running for it yet again, and I'm excited to see who wins it. Who do you think's going to win?
Of course, I expect Eric Ten Hag and Marcus Rashford to make it a clean sweep for Manager of the Month and Player of the Month. Of course, Eric Ten Hag is in the pot with Marco Silva and Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte, who has not been around for the past 4 games, and Marco Silva, who has had a pretty good run of run of
decent.
form, but
They haven't lost,
won
so
2,
that's
drawn
alright.
2, haven't lost yet. But Manchester United have won 3 of their last 4 games and drawn 1, scored 9, considered just 3 or 4. So I feel like Ten Hag.
If I had to pick, I think it's weird that Conte is in the running. Yes, he's Tottenham manager, she's been running, but I think his replacement, it's what I'd give it to. I feel like in the last month, he's had a tougher job, stepping into, like, this is a song we don't even know, we didn't know for anywhere. Stepping into Conte's shoes, where it's a tumultuous Tottenham side, things are really working right, and he's got them playing football, and if they make top 4 now, this period that he's been in charge will be a period they will look back on and be like, yeah, things happened there. So yeah, I would have liked it if he was in the running for it. I would like to see him win it. Yeah. But yeah, congratulations to whoever wins. All those managers have good run for. Marco Silva, they actually played 5 matches in February. They won 2, drew 3 of them. One of them was against Chelsea in the big London derby. So Fulham are definitely in good form, and in their race for the Europa League, they look like they could. And if Fulham can find their way into the Europa League, that's going to be one of the highest accomplishments of this season. Like we expect City to be in top 4, expect Arsenal in top 4, but Fulham to play European football, that would be something.
That's definitely something. Let us know in the comment sections who you think deserves to win the Manager of the Month for the Premier League for February and the Player of the Month in the Premier League for February. Of course, something big that caught my eye was that the Carabao Cup final was watched by 4.26 million people on Sky Sports. That is the biggest viewership ever.
We're still talking about the Carabao Cup. We're still talking about this Capri-Sun Cup. Jesus Christ. We've here now. I think, boy, you won Carabao. First trophy in 7 years. We've here.
Anyways, the record was held by Liverpool, of course.
I don't even know our Carabao records. The trophy is small.
You can't know.
Recently, I found out that with Deck United won Carabao final. I don't even remember.
You won't know.
What's my own with Carabao? Ask me about champs. Ask me about Champions League. I know how many Champions League we have. So we had the record before. Okay, congrats to the Liverpool team that had the record.
No, it wasn't actually Liverpool.
Who had the record before?
But of course, Carabao Cup final was watched by 4.26 million people on Sky Sports, and that is something big. But to quickly wrap things up, let us touch on Formula 1. The Drive to Survive season, which I preempted in the last episode, has come out. It was an interesting watch. Good to see how everything happened, on the paddock. Good to see how, a little bit of an explanation into why Mercedes struggled last season.
Yeah, I haven't tuned into that yet, but I definitely will be. And I feel like in Formula 1, obviously I'm a Hamilton fan, and he's coming to the tail end of his career. He needs one more to have the record, so I'm definitely invested in seeing what goes on in Formula 1 this season. Definitely. And we will keep you updated as it goes along.
Definitely. The 2023 season promises to be amazing. All the cars are, all the teams have presented their cars already, and we're seeing some pretty good cars. And like I said in the last episode, I'm looking at Aston Martin to actually do quite well this season. And to quickly wrap things up, the AFCON Under-20 men's competition is currently going on. The Nigeria Under-20 side, the Flying Eagles, have qualified for the semi-finals, and in qualifying for the semi-finals, they also qualified for the Under-20 World Cup, and I think that's big. They defeated the Uganda Under-20 side by 1-0.
Yeah, that's great. Good to see promise on that front, even though the senior team isn't reaching its potential. But yeah, that's good hope for the future. The Falcons have been playing well recently, so Nigerian football isn't as bad a shape as it may seem from the outside, because we only look at the main Super Eagles and the World Cup. But yeah, Nigerian football is looking quite healthy.
Yeah, let us know in the comment sections how far you think the Flying Eagles will go in this edition of the AFCON Under-20. They have the semi-finals to play and maybe the finals. Who knows? Let us know in the comment sections. Of course, do not forget the question of the day. Is the El Clasico in Spain washed? Do you think the El Clasico still carries the pedigree, that it had over the past couple of years? Let us know in the comment sections below, anywhere that you're watching this. Of course, that is an episode for myself and Shopsy. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.